one level right now that now entire India has joined hand with us. So I think I would say that हम चलते गए और कारवा जुड़ता रहा. एंड अगर सपोज कोविड नहीं होता, कोरोना नहीं होता, तो शायद आज का जो दिन है विच इज 6 जून, हम लोग शायद प्रगति मैदान में इकट्ठे बैठ के सेकेंड डे ऑफ नॉन वन टेक एशिया एग्जीबिशन का सक्सेस पार्टी मना रहे होते. बट इट्स ऑल पार्ट एंड पार्सल ऑफ लाइफ. I welcome all of my eminent speakers, eminent panelists for this wonderful webinar. Thank you so much for your wonderful support, and let's start our webinar. So now the topic itself is, future of Indian non-woven industries post-COVID. So I think my first question will go to Mr. Anshumali Jain. Mr. Anshumali Jain is a partner in Textbond non-woven. He's based in Chennai, and also he's from Delhi basically, but I think he has shifted to Chennai and doing business from Chennai. He has also some presence in, I think, close to Mumbai. So, Mr. Anshumali Jain, first of all, tell us something about what is the current position in Chennai, and then I come to the question.
Thank you, Sanyal sir, for having me here and giving all of us this opportunity to interact with each other. The position in Chennai is pretty much like most other big cities in India. People are trying to get back on their feet. Industry, offices, everything is gradually, trying to get back and get rolling. I think after a long period of lockdown, everyone's eager to get back to work.
Okay. So, Mr. Anshumali, I think my first question would be, how do you see future of non-woven industry in India post-COVID in terms of products, in terms of new investment opportunity, or maybe some kind of diversification? So what is your say about this?
So I think the industry, non-woven industry as a whole, is at a very, very interesting juncture in its journey. As we all know, this industry is a sunrise industry. It's been in India only about 15 odd years, maybe less, but it's seen it's a very good growth pattern so far, and I think this is it's a junction from where I see this industry expanding very rapidly in the future. Every industry needs some triggers, some support opportunities to take the leap, to take that jump to the next level. I think the time has come now for non-woven industry, specifically in India, to take that leap into the future and move on to the next level of products. In the and this I think is going to be in the entire chain, starting from the machinery right down to the final products, to the consumer products. There is a good good amount of demand coming up from a segment which all of us have been talking for last many years, that the medical and the hygiene segment particularly, is poised for good growth. It will happen. It will happen. Many of us have been studying that, waiting for things to move. This is the big trigger which is going to, provide that impetus to the industry to get in, make the products, make the investments, and start producing goods not only for India but for the entire world.
Anshumali, before I think this situation, I think mainly spunbond manufacturers and overall Indian non-woven industries were more related to packaging, and packaging was more, and other related industries were not less. So how do you see that packaging industry's diversification into this situation post-COVID? Because now world is open soon for us to serve the nation, serve to the world also in terms of products. So how do you see that this is happening for the current packaging industries as well?
So I think time has come now for the industry to move into the value-added chain, from basic spunbond into the other types of non-wovens. It's time to move into functional fabrics which provide a specific property for specific applications. Things like we see in the most common example these days is in the PPE kits. You need now a breathable fabric which is liquid resistant, but at the same time, it allows air to pass through so that it's comfortable to wear. At the same time, it provides protection. So there are many other such products which the industry can now produce and provide to the world. And this goes again in the entire chain, from the machinery manufacturers to people producing raw material, intermediary products like specialized master batches to be added while the production of fabric is taking place. Then there are intermediate products, products like filtration related products for water and air filters. So those products are not used by an individual, but used by an industry to further their product or the environment. And lastly, the final consumer products, things like masks, safety products, coveralls. So this entire chain is now, I feel, set to make a quantum jump into the future.
Right. Thank you, Anshuman. Pankaj, since I think you are a CA also, Pankaj, if you can unmute yourself, please. Pankaj, you are chartered accountant by profession also, and you are also into non-wood industries. If we take further of Anshuman's talk, how do you see the investment opportunity coming to this new era of non-wood post-COVID?
सैनिल जी, अगर आगे अभी जो देख रहे हैं हम सिनेरियो, डिमांड फ्रॉम चाइना इज गोइंग टू शिफ्ट टू सम अदर कंट्रीज एंड इंडिया इज इन ए वेरी, क्या बोलेंगे, इट इज इन सच ए फैंटास्टिक पोजीशन. पीपल आर लुकिंग टुवर्ड्स इंडिया so that they can change their supply chain, and definitely it will make sense to think about investment not from domestic perspective but from international perspective, especially in the medical and health and hygiene. That will be my take right now.
Okay, thank you, Pankaj ji. Apurva bhai, you are there with us. Good morning. Apurva bhai.
Good morning.
Yes, welcome.
Welcome. Thank you, Sanjay bhai.
Yes. What is the situation in Rajkot right now? We heard that Rajkot technocrats have started manufacturing a lot of machinery on Melblon N95 masks. So, what is the news from Rajkot coming?
In Rajkot, basically, yes, a few companies like Raju Engineers Limited and also a few small manufacturers like those who are into filtration, especially. You must have heard about the RO filters. The RO filters machine has been, some few manufacturers, some good ideology has been implemented in that one. And those people have changed their candle filter lines to melt-blown machines. I mean, they must have
video is off. Can you, if it's possible to start your video? We are not able to see you.
Yeah, just hold on.
Yeah.
Now I think everybody can do it.
Yes.
So I say, as I was saying that Raju Engineers Limited has started manufacturing the melt blown lines, and they are into the trials, and maybe within a week or 10 days they will be start manufacturing this machine by their own for the melt blown. And some few people who are into RO filters, one of the manufacturer over here in my place, they have converted the line from RO filter candles to melt blown line. I mean, they must have done some changes in the machine itself, and they are manufacturing this melt blown fabric from that machine. And I guess RO candle filters is manufactured all over the India in so many places also. If that technology or some retrofitment has been done in that machine, I guess that would be a good opportunity for the India to, manufacture melt blown by their own. We won't be dependent on China as well.
Right. So my question to you now is, what changes you see in the industry after post-COVID-19?
Post-COVID-19, I guess it would be a very good future for us, especially those who are into non-woven industries. I'm not talking about only the manufacturers, but also the traders, the converters. Everybody would be having a very good future in the next few months or next few days, I guess. The only thing which we are lacking as of now is the exports, which is restricted in our country for the non-woven fabric, especially the HS code 5603. If that has been opened, then it is a very good opportunity for our country to export, because one of the largest manufacturer of non-woven fabric in the whole world is number one is China, and the second number is India. So as of now, everybody knows that there is a feeling in each and every country that we want to be anti-China. We don't want to buy goods from China. So if this is the ideology all over the world, then I think India has a very good option as a exporter, especially for this 5603. I mean the non-woven fabric.
Yeah, but so you see a lot of opportunities for Indian non-woven manufacturers to serve the world, especially
Yes.
after post-COVID.
Yes, correct.
Right. Thank you, Apoorv bhai. Apoorv bhai is basically, I will introduce himself. He's the Vice President of Indian Association, as well as is Managing Director for Eximus Rajkot. So thank you, Apoorv bhai. Let me move to the capital of India, Mr. Naveen Mittal. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Sanjay ji, and all panelists.
Since you are sitting in Delhi, and Delhi is also one of the cities which is suffering most right now from the COVID, and I think the more unlock things, Delhi has started also joining the city which I am belongs to, Mumbai and Ahmedabad. So welcome to the gang. But how you see this step from the government to unlock basically in the benefit of industry?
For the benefit of industry, it's very good. But you see, we are not maintaining social distancing. So in Delhi, the situation is bad. Everybody is, you see, in every colony, there is 2 or 3 lines. They are totally packed.
Okay. So Naveen, my question to you is, Naveen is also a president of ATMEP Association and also a director in Associate Non-Woven. So Naveen, my question is, I think recently I heard that you all have worked on the data of non-woven fabric manufacturers, that what is the capacity and how you can collect those data and put in front of the government to, because we all know that what situation is going right now for the non-woven fabric industries. So can you just share the data, what kind of data which we have in the fabric industries?
Yeah, moving on, we would like to share some figures that we have collected from all our members from last 1 month. A total of, if we see, if we run 70 GSM, the total production in meters is 1.4 crore. And from, if we manufacture PP kits from them, so daily we can give 40 lakh PP kits. And Modi target is 2.5 crore kits that can be achieved in 6 to 7 days. And now the position is this, it's over flooded, and our industry is suffering badly due to prohibition of export of 5603.
Yeah, so basically you mean to say the data is sufficient enough for?
Yeah, it's very huge. The data with the government is not sufficient, or I think it is manipulated.
Okay, so you mean to say whatever data you have collected, it is a pan-India data? Which can,
yeah, it's a pan-India data. It's a pan-India data.
And which can serve the nation in any of the tough situations?
Anytime.
Okay. Thank you, Naveen. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Again, moving to Delhi, we have Mr. Tarun he's also Vice President of ATMEP Association and also Managing Director of Surya Lakshmi Industries. So Tarunji, what is the role of non-woven fabric manufacturers right now? What is the position and how do you see them going into the future?
Good morning to all. First of all, if we talk about non-woven fabric, in pre-COVID times, we had a set of applications into which packaging played a major role. 75%, around 75% of the entire non-woven production in India goes to packaging. Now, since post-COVID, packaging industry is at a real slump, and there has to be a reason for it. I mean, markets are not open, there's lockdown in place, people are not going out, people are not buying non-essential things. So we, on to post-COVID, we are left with few, I mean, few options. One of them, or probably the biggest and the only of them, is the medical nonwoven that's present at now, which comprises of mask or PP kit. And the problem at present nonwoven industry is that the amount of production that we have doesn't goes into consumption of these final products. And the real problem that we see is a ban on export of either the raw material or the final product, nonwoven or face mask or PP kits. So that's and in this situation, I think most or probably 50% of the units are not running at their prime production.
But Tarunji, my point of view is right now, maybe because of this Corona situation, even the domestic market is under the kind of ban situation, as no one is taking the material right now. But after once everything starts to become normal, and when we start living a new normal, don't you think that even the domestic demand will be more in terms of fabric manufacturers to supply? What do you suggest?
Yeah, I think there might be, but Sanyalji, that might take a longer period of time. Surviving that time for a non-woven industry is really difficult, since it's a capital intensive project, and I mean, it's a continuous process industry. So the problem is markets gets opened. I mean, we get onto a new normal of living the same way we used to live in COVID-19. That might take, I mean, a couple or probably 4 months, 6 months down the line. So getting onto that demand will take a longer period of time. So that's the problem that we are facing at this point of moment. I'll tell you, I'll add a little on PP kit section. I mean, in pre-COVID, India doesn't used to produce any PP kits in India, and presently they are producing more than 6 lakh pieces a day. So the problem is, when PP kits are not getting exported, they remain stuck at domestic level, and they are not, going backwards and buying fabric from it. India has a potential to export. India has a potential to become a very, very reasonable player in terms of medical nonwovens. So I think that's could be a remedy for the industry at this point of time.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Tarunji, for your insight on how non-woven industry fabric manufacturers looking post-COVID. Now from Delhi, I move to Gujarat. Suresh Bhai, welcome to you. Suresh Bhai is, can you unmute yourself, Suresh Bhai? Yeah, Suresh Bhai is a president of Indian Association, as well as he runs his own manufacturing facility in Himmatnagar in Gujarat called Sidbin Fabric. He is the MD of Sidbin Fabrics. Suresh Bhai, the news which we heard, and we have been talking on a various platform also, I think you are in constant touch with Ministry of Textile and Ministry of Commerce to start exports, especially the fabric exports to the different parts of the world. So what is your take that whatever data you all have collected last week and submitted to Ministry of Textile, so how do you see that Indian non-woven manufacturers, especially the fabric manufacturers, are ready to serve the nations also, as well as they can export also? So if you can just enlighten a few things, what was your discussion to Ministry of Textile and how you see further it is going?
Good morning, everybody. Since last 1 month, we continuously keep in touch with MOT regarding the current market situation and current market updates to why to give the relief to export of the non-woven fabric. हम लोग काफी वेबिनार भी उनके साथ में शेयर किए हैं, मिनिस्टर ऑफ टेक्सटाइल के मिस्टर कपूर, सेक्रेटरी साहब, डेप्यूटी सेक्रेटरी साहब मिस्टर बलराम कुमार जी, उनके साथ में भी वेबिनार हमने इंडियन चैम्बर ऑफ कॉमर्स के थ्रू डायरेक्टली उनके साथ इंटरेक्शन में और अपूर्व बहन दोनों ने किया था. काफी हम लोग उनको अपडेट देते रहते हैं मार्केट में करंट सिचुएशन क्या चल रही है, नॉन-वन फैब्रिक की, नॉन-वन मैन्युफैक्चरर्स को क्या क्या दिक्कतें अभी खड़ी हो रही है, और कैसे कोविड के सिचुएशन में नॉन-वन मैन्युफैक्चरर्स इंडस्ट्रीज ने गवर्नमेंट को हेल्प किया. हमने, हमारी जिम्मेदारी थी, हमारी फर्ज भी थी उसका हेल्प करने की. अभी जो लास्ट 1 मंथ से जो सिचुएशन चेंज हुआ है, जो सडनली मार्केट में कुछ डाइवर्सिफिकेशन आया है, उसके बारे में भी हमने उनको कंटिन्यूसली, हम लोग उनके साथ इंटरेक्शन करते रहते हैं. कभी काफी टाइम कॉल पे भी बात होती है उनके साथ में. मगर जो हमने आज तक हमने देखा उनका जो रिस्पॉन्स है जिस लेवल पे, तो मिनिस्टर ऑफ टेक्सटाइल काफी अवेयर है इस चीज में कि भी पीपीई किट्स का जो मैन्युफैक्चरिंग इंडिया में हो रहा है, और एक्सपोर्ट के दौरान अगर एक्सपोर्ट सडनली ओपन कर देते हैं तो पीपीई किट मैन्युफैक्चरर्स रेडी नहीं थे जो इंटरनेशनल मार्केट में पीपीई किट का जो स्टैंडर्ड्स है उसको जस्टिफाई करने में। शायद उनका ऐसा मानना है पीपीई किट मैन्युफैक्चर रेडी है, फिर भी एमओटी और गवर्नमेंट का जो सोचना है उस दौरान वैसा है कि भाई उनको आप प्रिपरेशन करके रखिए इंटरनेशनल मार्केट के स्टैंडर्ड के हिसाब से, कहीं इंफीरियर क्वालिटी कोई मैन्युफैक्चर उसको एक्सपोर्ट ना कर दे। तो उनका जो एक वेबिनार थे उसके अंदर मिस्टर कपूर जी ने यही बताया था कि हम लोग आपको टाइम देते हैं, तो कुछ टाइम देते हैं, शायद मुझे ऐसा लग रहा है 23 को या 26 को वेबिनार था, एमओटी ने जो ऑर्गेनाइज किया था।
यस यस।
तो कैसे पीपी किट की क्वालिटी इंप्रूव की जाए और क्या क्या स्टैंडर्ड उसमें इंटरनेशनल मार्केट में चाहिए, वो सारा टेक्निकल डिटेल्स उस दौरान उन्होंने शेयर किया था। उनका जो इंडिकेशन था उस दौरान ऐसा लगा था कि शायद वो 20 जून के बाद ही ओपन करने के सोच रहे हैं। हम लोग कंटिन्यूस उनको प्रेशर करेंगे। पीपी किट मैन्युफैक्चरिंग सेगमेंट अलग चीज है, नॉन वन फैब्रिक मैन्युफैक्चरिंग जो सेगमेंट वो अलग चीज है, दोनों के बीच में काफी डिस्टेंस है। हम लोग सिर्फ रोल गुड्स मैन्युफैक्चर सप्लायर हैं, जो आज की डेट में इंटरनेशनल मार्केट में चाइना का काफी मार्केट शेयर हम लोग इंडिया की तरफ ला सकते हैं, और हमारे सारे मैन्युफैक्चर रेडी है उसमें। उस दौरान सभी ने अपनी अपनी तैयारी कर ली थी भाई, चलो एक अच्छा मार्केट अपॉर्चुनिटी मिल रहा है इंटरनेशनल मार्केट में करंट सिचुएशन में, तो हम लोग काफी बड़े पैमाने पे एंट्री ले सकते हैं इंटरनेशनल मार्केट में। मगर आज तक इंट्रैक्शन होने के बाद में ऐसा लगा कि अभी भी शायद गवर्नमेंट इस मूड में नहीं है, क्योंकि ज्यादातर वेटेज पीपी किट मैन्युफैक्चर को दे रही है जो गारमेंट इंडस्ट्री से आ रहे हैं और बड़े प्लेयर्स है उसके अंदर। हमारा जो वेटेज ऐसा लग रहा है उनको उनके सोचने में कि भाई नॉन मैन्युफैक्चरिंग इंडस्ट्री जो है एसोसिएशन जो है वो शायद उनके कंपैरेटिवली हम लोग छोटे दिख रहे हैं उनके सामने, ऐसा लग रहा है हमको। मगर हमने उनको काफी कन्विंस करने का ट्राई भी किया है। मिस्टर बलराम कुमार जी के साथ में काफी टाइम इंटरेक्शन होता रहता है, लास्ट वीक में भी हुआ था। पहली बार ऐसा कुछ फीलिंग हुआ था कि भाई जो गवर्नमेंट की ओर से टेक्सटाइल कमिश्नर की ओर से जो उनको डेटा दिया गया था उसके अंदर कुछ कमियां थी। वो कमियां हमने मित्तल जी ने, मैंने, रामविलास जी ने और अपूर्व भाई ने चारों ने मिलके पूरा इंडिया का पान इंडिया का डेटा कवर किया। उसको हमने पूरा एक सेग्रीगेट किया और पूरा डेटा हमने उनको दिया, जो मित्तल साहब ने भी उनको मेल किया था, हमने भी मेल किया था, और फिर मित्तल साहब ने अभी जो आपको बताया। तो ये करने के बावजूद भी अभी तक ऐसा लग रहा है कि शायद वो लोग मूड में नहीं है एक्सपोर्ट ओपन करने के, मगर हम लोग कंटिन्यूस उनके प्रेशर डाल रहे हैं कि होना चाहिए, नहीं तो सारी चीजें हाथ में से निकल जाने के बाद एक्सपोर्ट ओपन होगा तो किसी को फायदा नहीं मिलेगा, और मार्केट शेयर जो है ना वो तुर्की और चाइना की तरफ वापस चला जाएगा, क्योंकि इनसे सब बाहर राह देख के इतने टाइम नहीं बैठ सकता है कि मुझे मटेरियल सिर्फ इंडिया से ही लेना है। आज की डेट में उसका मूड बना हुआ है, मगर कल ऐसा भी हो सकता है कि जब उनको जरूरत है अपने देश की जरूरत पूरे करने के लिए, तो बट नेचर है वो चाइना की तरफ वापस चला जाएगा, और जो इंडिया को बेनिफिट मिलना चाहिए था वो नहीं मिल सकता है। हालांकि
वन मोर पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू हियर इज दैट कोई प्रॉपर प्रेजेंटेशन गवर्नमेंट को हुआ है कि भाई नॉन वन फैब्रिक इज नॉट ओनली यूज इन पीपी किट, because there are so many other applications also worldwide which can be made and used from non-woven fabric. So this presentation has been made from all of you to government in a right way, because right now because of the situation everybody is talking about mask and PPE kit, but non-woven fabric is being used in much other application as well, and right now it's an opportunity for all of us to serve the world in terms of the current situation as well, and in terms of the added value product also. So is this representation has been made to government?
मेरे ध्यान में ऐसा सेपरेटली कोई प्रेजेंटेशन नहीं दिया है, मगर गवर्नमेंट का जो मेनली फोकस है ना वो फोकस ओनली मास्क और पीपी किट के बारे में है। अभी उन्होंने ये सोचना बंद कर दिया कि नॉन वन कहीं और भी यूज होता है और एक्सपोर्ट भी होता है। आज की डेट में उनका जो मेनली फोकस है इंडिया के लिए डोमेस्टिकल यूज के लिए वो मास्क और पीपी किट के बारे में है। और मास्क के अंदर जो उन्होंने अभी बीच में जो नॉन सर्जिकल मास्क का एक्सपोर्ट ओपन किया तब भी हमारे उनके साथ इंटरेक्शन हुआ था, बात किया था हमने, कि सर अगर नॉन सर्जिकल मास्क अगर आप एक्सपोर्ट ओपन कर रहे हो और सर्जिकल मास्क में अभी भी आपने बैन करके रखा हुआ है, जबकि सर्जिकल मास्क का ओवर फ्लडेड हो रहा है इंडिया के अंदर, उनकी जो उनका जो क्राइटेरिया था कि सम ऑफ द क्वांटिटी होना चाहिए इंडिया का सप्लाई में, उससे भी ज्यादा अभी मुझे तो ऐसा लगा 10 टाइम्स ज्यादा अभी मैन्युफैक्चरिंग हो रहा है इंडिया के अंदर N95 और 3 प्लाई मास्क। तो उस लेवल भी शायद उन्होंने क्या सोचा है, हम लोग उनसे वापस एक बार इंटरेक्शन करके बात करके सोच सकते हैं। फिलहाल सिचुएशन ऐसा है कि भी अभी तक उनके पास से कोई पॉजिटिव रिस्पॉन्स आया नहीं है।
Right. Thank you, Suresh bhai. I think let's move from Gujarat to Kalam with Ramesh ji. Ramesh ji, if you can unmute yourself. Yeah, thank you so much. Ramesh ji is a Vice President of Laghu Udyog Bharati and I think connected to the non-woven industry as well. And he is the director in JPD Non-Woven. रमेश जी, आप खूबसूरत वादियों में बैठे हैं, कोविड वहां दिख नहीं रहा है, जो भी आपसे इंटरेक्शन हुआ है पिछले 2-3 बार में, तो I think you are in the right situation and right frame of mind. So since we are talking about exports, what do you suggest कि future में exports post COVID में कौन सी products non-woven industries की ज़्यादा demand में रहेगी? What is your say on that?
Good morning, everyone, and thank you, Sanyal ji, for inviting me for this webinar. Actually, earlier, our Indian non-woven industry was mainly focusing on the packaging industry, but now this COVID is kind of blessing for us. We can say like after this COVID, we will have new market opening for us. Earlier, the medical usage internationally was much more, but in India, the non-woven was not that much used in the medical applications. But now, if we see the number of machines China has imported worldwide, they all will require the raw material. If you see, I think China is exporting more than 1,000 machines worldwide for the surgical mask. Apart from this mask application, we can see the furnitures, apparels. So this position is a boom for all the Indian manufacturers. We can see a lot of new export orders coming to India. In fact, myself, I can see like 4 orders which I was waiting for last 2 or 3 years. Recently, the mails are coming. If I'm looking into that, those mails are back to 2016 or 2014. They are asking for the new rates. So we can simply say, because now there is anti-China sentiments also worldwide. The buyer is trying to shift from China. One point is sentiment, and the other point is costing also. Right now, the costing in China is comparable to India. So in case the Indian government is opening exports from India, we can have the regular buyers across the world. So our request to government is this: please allow the export on 5603 so that we can have the permanent export orders. In case the export is not opened up, after a while, when this boom will settle down, the buyer will go back to the China because we won't be having any orders then.
Right, Ramesh. And as per our discussion with the various international countries, the same feelings which we are also receiving from everybody, that rather than India is asking government to export, they are depending on India now, because there are a lot of anti-China sentiments are going worldwide. And I think it's the right time for us to start exports, and government should allow exports so that we can take the benefit of this current situation. So I totally agree with you, Ramesh ji, and I think as a Pan India Association, you all should have talked to government once again with a full strength that why they should allow exports. And I think after this webinar, we all will again try and talk to government to allow export basically. So Ramesh ji, thank you so much. From Kalam, we directly move to the southern part of India and we move to Madurai. Hello, Mr. Rambilas, how are you?
Hi, good morning. Good morning, everybody.
Mr. Rambilas is a secretary of Cinema Association, as well as he is also into non-woven manufacturing activity, and he has his own unit called Jayshree Non-Woven. So Rambilas ji, can you just, do you have any kind of data like what is the surplus in terms of fabric, non-woven fabric right now it's available, so that we can serve to the nations also, and also can talk to, because end of the day, the motive is to request government to start the exports. So if you can share some of the data, or if you can give some insight on this particular subject.
Yeah, thanks. So India has more than 500 non-owned manufacturing units across India. And as per the earlier said data, it says that it just needs all over India needs only 6 days to cater to the entire need of PPE kits. And not more than 1 day is required to cater the entire need of fabrics for mask making. So this is the data that we have. And in terms of excess quantity that we have, it is about 150 to 200 tons on a daily production basis. We have excess, that is surplus in the market right now, as of now, minimum. It is only for the south and west, and the north has about 300 tons as of now, excess. So all put together, we can say about 600 to 700 tons excess per day capacity is what we have right now. So even for 25 days, India can earn a good foreign exchange in terms of supplying for fabrics for all the other countries who are need for other applications, not only medical. There are a lot of applications in which non-owned is being used today. That is one point. And secondly, we as a nation have a surplus demand, surplus fabric supply even for the converters who are based for PPE kits. Today, right now, a lot of garment industry has come into the manufacturing of PPE kits. So even the entire garment industry can be fed with our non-owned fabrics across India. So that is not an issue. And India is actually facing a crunch of what to say now. Right now, the government banning the exports. All the manufacturers of non-owned fabrics are facing a crunch of the market. So there is no proper market going on right now, and there is no proper market to sell our fabrics right now. It is the same in entire South India or West, North or East. So across India, this is the problem, because due to the export ban that we are facing, prohibition. So it is high time that government sees all these things and releases PPE kits, non-owned fabrics, masks, and all the end items. Right now, China is exporting a lot of PPE kits, fabrics they are exporting, and also the mask, N95, all the masks. India right now has the production capacity for mask, N95, PPE kits, everything we have. We are still not open for the global economy. That's the problem that we are facing, the entire industry. So we all should put to the government to get the ground reality situation. Manufacturers are ready to support all the converters at any time, and there is always a surplus of fabrics. So that's not an issue right now.
Ramvilasji, the data which all of you have submitted to the government, so all these points which you have talked right now has been covered in that presentation made to the government?
The presentation made to the government, basically it was done on the needs of PPE kits, because government was skeptical about that, the need for 2.5 crore PPE kits on any sudden basis. So our data shows that if all the fabric manufacturers run for PPE kits, there is not more than 6 days that we can satisfy the demand. But it is up to the converters to convert. Converters right now, there are a lot of converters. All the big groups of the garments now ventured into PPE kits. All the garment clusters, garment manufacturing clusters, even in North, South, West, are right now into garment business, have now shifted to PPE kits for time being. So conversion of PPE kits is not an issue. So this is how we represent the government, because our product has a lot of applications. You all know, agriculture, medical, and packaging, and so on, furnishing, home furnishing. So a lot of applications. So a lot of clients who are not into medical, or those clients, our overseas clients who are into packaging, other clients are affected a lot, because they came to us. They wanted a good alternative to China in terms of quality, in terms of pricing, and in terms of faster delivery. So right now, this ban is proving to be a disaster for us in terms of market, in gaining access to new market, as well as covering up the existing market.
Okay, Ramvilasji, thank you so much. I think before I again move to South, I would like Mr. Praveen to reply my question. But before that, we all want to live a normal life. We all want to meet together and start interacting and start doing business when situation are normal. So I think my team is coming out with the first poll of today's webinar. So I will request my team to have this poll on the screen so everybody can participate in that poll. Hita, can you just share the poll, please? This is more related to us, but we want to know it from you that under normal situation, which month you prefer physical exhibition in Pragati Maidan in 2020? The choices are September, October, November, December, or you can't say anything. So I request all of you to just participate in this poll, please. Rakeshji, over to you. If you can unmute yourself.
Good morning, everyone.
Yes, Rakeshji, my question is that how government should help in this current scenario? What is your expectation? What is the industry association expectation from government in this current scenario?
Yeah, definitely the hot discussion point is right now is export. Definitely government should open the export as soon as possible to divert our business to China. There are some facts and points which would I like to discuss. There is a pending subsidies. I think in capital subsidies are that which is still pending with governments. So they should release it as soon as possible. As more industrialists and more non-industrialists are not getting the subsidies on time. So they should work on that. Government should work on that. And second thing is lab and testing labs and certifications. We are getting a lot of problem on doing the testing and certification. So government, we should request government to at least open each lab in each state, so we can facilitate this and we can improve our qualities in non-one. Again, moving to exports, India has ample production of non-one fabric. And as you know that the price of 3-ply and N95 mask is not increased from 1 to 20 rupees and 40 to 200, 400 rupees because of non-one fabric. But it is because of conversion and lack of manufacture of 3-ply mask and N95 mask in India. So it is not because of non-one fabric. We should put this point to government. And second thing is the price of 3-ply mask, N95 mask, PPE kit increase. But as you see from before COVID-19 and after COVID-19, the price of non-one is still there. So it shows that there are ample production of non-one fabric in India, and we can still supply to the government without any obligation or anything. So we should consider and we should put this point to the government. Now GST is there. I think there is a 12% GST on fabric. Actually, we are considered as a textile person. Before COVID-19, due to government policies, we don't even know we are textile or plastic people. Seems like we are born in textile family and we are adopted by plastic industries. Even there is a question of our existence and we don't know how long we would survive. Last year, we all know about that regarding the packaging industries. We are those people who are struggling and begging to government for our existence. And government is now depending on our existence. So we should put this point to government, and we should we also should be proud for that, that we are helping the government and helping the mankind. So we are expecting from government to favor us more to sustain these industries. Okay.
Yes, Rakeshji, thank you so much. Before I move on my question on the government policies, I would request all the participants, because I think you are putting your question into chat. I would request you to place share your question in the question and answer session, which will be better for us to take the question from the question and answer session rather than the chat, because chat, there are other things are also coming. So I would request all the participants to ask their question in the question and answer session. So from Surat, let's move to Calcutta and Nagpur. We have chartered accountant with us, and we have someone who is close in terms of policy changes which has been guided to the government. So, Inderpal ji, Sat Sri Akal.
Sat Sri Akal ji.
Namaste.
Namaskar ji.
And all the
Yes, Indapalji.
Hanji, good morning.
Yeah, good morning. So basically, what suggestion you will make in terms of policy change from government side? If you both of can reply, separately, I think we all are eager to hear from that, because right now it's the main point which everybody is looking for. So if you can give some insight on this question.
Okay, I will start. See, basically, the first thing that I would like to say is, a friend in need is a friend indeed. And right now, the world requires PPE kits and masks. And right now, because the exports are banned, India is not being able to supply it to anybody. And today, we are directly in competition with China. And their manufacturing capabilities are much, much higher than that of ours, volume-wise, if you see. Maybe not quality-wise, but certainly by volume-wise, they are much ahead of us. So if we don't supply at this time, tomorrow when the need reduces and they will say that, when there was a need, you couldn't supply us. So there's, we'll go back to China. So that is one thing which we fear that, if now we can't supply them, maybe the time will be too late when the government allows the exports, maybe it will be too late for us to, supply. Now coming back to the, coming to the points, that with respect to the policy changes that we require from the government. One is, as we are directly competing with China, so whether it be with respect to the interest rates, whether it be with respect to the infrastructure, we are, way behind them. So we would request, the government to look into the interest rates as well. And also, infrastructure wise, if you go to China, you see, government has, set up industrial estates with buildings and everything, with full infrastructure is ready, and you just move in and you can, start your productions. Whereas this is not the case in India. So that is one thing which we lack, that to set up an industry, it takes a much longer time in India as compared to China or other countries. So that is, I guess, Gujarat is ahead in that. But, if you see rest of the India is lacking in that, especially the eastern side or the central India. South to some extent is also good. Delhi to some extent is good. But then, one single window is there. But then when you go to that single window, you see nothing happens. Especially if you see in, eastern India, or, the land conversion itself can take, 1 year or so. So that is one thing, that we should, the government, the central government and the state government should join hands and come up with common policies which will be applicable to all the states. So this is one thing which we need, the government needs to look into it. If you see the electricity cost, from one place to the other, if you go, there is a difference of 1 or 2 rupees per kg, per 1 or 2 rupees per unit, So depending, so then, the competitive edge, one loses the competitive edge. So I feel that, the central government and the state governments should come together and, should do a capping, or should do, it should be standard across India, so that, we can compete, and we can compete with the rest of the world when it comes to exports. So that is one thing which, we should as a association put forward these things to the government, that, that even the electricity cost should be looked into it, and a capping should be there. Like I said earlier, that, infrastructure development, industrial buildings and sheds should be ready and buy and start production immediately. That is one thing which we can, the government can look into it. Like, for how to, get the quality up to the world standard. Like you said, that the government was, a bit apprehensive about the quality of the PPE kits that India might supply. So the government should come up with the standards, and which I guess, Mr. Pankaj Goenka will, talk on that, the standards, So what I would like to say is, subsidies can be given, for branding and qualities. Something, a government can come up with an idea, where, you meet a certain standard, you meet the world standards, government will help you out in that. Where, subsidies can be given, if you have a quality product, and if you can do the branding. So that, in India, one thing that we lack is especially our segment is much smaller in size. R&D is not done, you know. Non-woven is just not spunbound non-wovens. There are, you know, various other non-wovens are there which are much bigger in size. So their R&D is, you know, much better than that of ours. Each and every unit is having we don't even have, you know, proper labs. Most of us, we might not be even having proper labs in our factories, you know. We have, you know, but much lesser. But R&D is not there. So R&D, you know, if the government can, you know, help us out with the R&D. So a lot of mines are there, you know, pan-India plants are there. So I feel that, you know, R&D is one department where the government can look into and, you know, give some incentive to the people so that, you know, they can come up with ideas. Right now, if you see, the biggest problem that the doctors are facing is the breathability of the fabric that we are supplying.
Right.
So now the solutions are coming. Of course, we have the TPU films, the breathable films are coming up. But, you know, so that is where we feel, you know, that we are lacking. So if we can, you know, if the government can support us in that, then I guess, you know, we'll be at par with the world's best. So, so that is where, you know, we need to look into it. Capital and interest subsidies, if you see, you know, the tough subsidies not being paid, if you see the capital subsidies, whatever is there, you know, so the government has to look into the subsidies part as well. Whereas if you see China, they get, you know, before they do anything, they get, the government gives them the subsidy first, you know. So that initial investment, that thing is not the case here. So, you know, initial investment, if the government can hold our hands and we can take this thing much, much ahead. So that is where we are lacking. You know, in India, if you see, most of us are having, say, 1, 2, 3, 4, I think at the max, 5 plants in one unit. If you go to China, they are like having 10 plants, 20 plants in one unit. So how, and each of them are 100% export units. So, and in our case, maybe we are hardly exporting 5-10%. That is it, not more than that. And even that 5-10% is not there anymore because the bans are in place. So we need to look into it and convince the government that, you know, this is the time which we need to, you know, take the initiative and exports to be done as quickly as possible.
So basically, in short, Inderpalji, you want to say that if all these benefits can be given from the government to our Indian non-woven manufacturers, I think we can be more Atmanirbhar, and we don't have to depending on any other country for import, and domestic supply also we can be fulfilled from India, and even the exports can be done from India. So
and one more very important point, you know, the government has given duty reliefs, if you know, on the inputs of COVID-19, you know, like face mask and PPE kits, you know, there is a duty relief that, you know, no duty needs to be paid.
Right.
But in actuality, if you see, it is, you know, it is not there. You tell the customs department, they will say, you go to the GST department, the GST is washing its hands and saying, oh, we don't know, you have to go. Customs is saying, go to the GST, GST is saying, go to the customs. So at the end of the day, in these times, you cannot let your material lying at the airport or, you know, at the seaports. You would say, okay, well, let us pay the duties and, you know, get the material.
Right.
So, you know, so there is a big gap in the actual implementation of the policies.
Right.
So the central government needs to, they are coming up with policies, some of the policies that, you know, they were quick in drafting the, you know, policies and all, you know, during this period, but then a lot of things were not implemented as well. So the implementation part needs to be taken care of. That is where I guess, you know, we are lacking, you know, that the government comes up with the policies, but then the implementation part, if you see, is not there.
Right.
So one thing that the government, even if they come up with the policies, they need to have checks and balances in place so that, you know, they know that that the policies are being implemented.
Right.
So that is one thing more. And as I said earlier, state and center should have common and universal industrial policies.
Right.
You know, everybody can compete, you know, with everybody, and, you know, a quality product is, you know, is given to the world and to India as well. India in itself is one of the biggest markets, maybe only second to maybe US and China. That's it. And nobody else. I think India maybe population wise, of course, it is, you know, way ahead of US as well. So we have a very, very good market in India as well. And if the right, and we have the capability to supply the entire Indian market as well. And over and above that, we can export. So
Right.
that is one thing which we need to look into it, and the export should be started.
Right. I think Indrapalji, it was a good insight from your side on the policy which we want from government to help. Pankaj ji, what is your say? Because you are coming from Maharashtra, and Maharashtra has been known to fight, starting from Shivaji to the current situation as well. The Maharashtra non-woven industry has been fighting in this tough situation as well. So what is your say on this?
First of all, I'd like to congratulate my team, my industry fellows, those who have risen to the occasion, where industry was not even manufacturing one PP kit. Today, someone in panel said around 5 to 6 lakh kits per day. So kudos to our industry, and they have been forefront in fighting this pandemic and providing necessary support to the government and the warriors who are fighting the war. But at the same time, I will say that, okay, that was a panic reaction. There was a panic, and then we rose to occasion and provided whatever was needed. But now it is time to move and come to a place where we have some standardization. If some of you are aware how the standards for PP kit fabric and PP kit overall has been changing continuously. If I'm not mistaken, at least 2 to 3 times the norms have been changed in terms of GSM, in terms of breathability or whatever it is. So it is extremely important, not only in terms of PP fabric or PP kits, even for, say, I'll say bedsheet covers, which are used either in COVID hospitals or maybe non-COVID hospitals also, where regular patients are treated. And bedsheets are used now. The time will come, especially after this pandemic, that you cannot reuse the bedsheets. So obviously, sooner or later, railways will also introduce use and throw concept of bedsheets or pillow cover. Maybe for time being, they will ask them to carry their own, or maybe sometime later they will provide on their own. So there should be a minimum standard which is fixed and which is made available to industry. And my one point very clearly I want to say is what is happening is many standards are being fixed without taking industry into consultation, without talking to the stakeholders. A very good example is the standards for PP kit coverall has been fixed without taking consultation with PP spunbond manufacturers. One more thing which I feel has been like, of course, this is not my point, but I want to say there has been some mix where all kinds of non-woven are treated as one, which is very essential that government should understand and distinguish. Especially I will say regards to melt blown, SMS and spun bonded. Right now, spun bonded is being clubbed with other non-woven fabrics. स्पन बॉन्डेड फैब्रिक की जो इंडस्ट्री की साइज है आज इंडिया में, उसके हिसाब से अलग से सोच एक बननी चाहिए गवर्नमेंट की तरफ से. वन मोर पॉइंट व्हिच आई विल लाइक टू से फ्रॉम डोमेस्टिक पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू, non-woven industry, someone has said, is right now 75% in packaging. My assumption was it was around 80-85% in packaging. And last 1.5, 2 years, we have been struggling to see a uniform policy from government, including the states, where they can decide what should be the minimum GSM of packaging bag or a carry bag, right? So वो एक immediately उन्होंने decide करना चाहिए, involve the stakeholders, involve all the policy makers, and then that should be implemented immediately across the India. ऐसा नहीं हो कि एक state कुछ बोल रहा है, दूसरा state कुछ बोल रहा है. Since we are talking India as one country, even GST has been implemented across, so that should become a norm now. It should be done on a priority basis without any failure. It is the high time it is done as quickly as possible. Talking about exports, अभी हम लोग exports की बात कर रहे हैं. Exports is going to open sooner or later. I am very sure about it, because right now industry has a huge surplus capacity which is lying idle, which is remaining unused. So अगर export open करना है, especially I am talking about fabric, तो आज की तारीख में DGFT में इनपुट आउटपुट नॉर्म डिसाइड किए हुए नहीं है नॉन वोवन फैब्रिक के, स्पेशली स्पन बॉन्डेड के. इट बिकम्स वेरी कम्बरसम फॉर एन इंडिविजुअल एक्सपोर्टर टू गो एंड गेट एड हॉक नॉर्म्स फिक्स्ड. It is a time consuming process. It is a process which consumes a lot of your effort and money also. So government should immediately, since now India is going to be continuous export basis country, ये norm immediately fix होना चाहिए. That is my point, that which should be done immediately. इसमें तो कोई delay नहीं होना चाहिए, especially input output non fixation में.
Right, Pankaj. Thank you so much for your insight. I think we have Mr. Bala also from southern part of India. Mr. Bala, you are there with us?
So एक point रह गया मेरा.
Yeah. Yes, Mr. Bala. Yes.
I'll come back again. One point that I missed was, the GST. See, the thing with the GST, there are 2 points in GST actually. एक तो क्या है कि भाई अपना fabric is 12%. पहले अपना bags का कुछ percentage था. अब now the bags have gone to 18%.
Right.
So and the input is 18%, the output is 12%, and again part of the output is 18%. So the government needs to look into it, if it can be uniform, whether you make everything to 12% or whether you make everything to 18%, whatever the government decides, the government should come up with a policy so that, some malpractices that are there, that some manufacturers might be manufacturing bags and selling it as, fabric only to save on the GST part, So that thing, the government needs to look into it, and that is what we can provide them, this is where, there is a loophole where the manufacturers of fabric and bags, might take advantage. So it should be uniform, whether it be because it is non-wovens of for bags and fabric, it should be clubbed as one, and there should be one GST rate. And if you see the refund part, it is delayed. The GST refund, it might take even 6 months to 1 year, to have there's such a lot of paperwork involved that as far as we are concerned, there is a delay of 6 to 8 months or maybe 1 year also, to have all the paperwork and all the government requirements to be fulfilled, and then only you get the refunds. So that is where a lot of capital is getting blocked as well.
Right.
That is one thing which the government needs to look into it. Or you want to make it 18%, make it 18% for the inputs and the outputs, so that the government gets its due as soon as possible, and we get this thing on time.
Right.
And one more thing which Mr. Rakesh Tikawala had touched upon was the testing labs.
Yes.
If you see, even today, people are saying that we want CITRA certificate. If you see now, the government has approved 8 labs, but because the people are not aware, the end user is not aware, they are asking for the CITRA certification.
Right, absolutely.
And even if you have 7, and initially there were 2, that one was DRDO Gwalior and one was CITRA. We had sent a material to DRDO as well as CITRA. It took us more than 1.5 months to get the approvals done in place, to get the approvals. When the material reached Gwalior, the Gwalior office was shut, and it was moved to INMAS Delhi.
Right.
So so government has to get government approved labs or BIS standard labs in place, so that each state can have its own. At least one lab needs to be there, where all these things can be done, rather than a material from north of India going to CITRA south, and there was a queue of maybe 100 or 200 testings which needed to be done. So that is where the government needs to take the initiative and get the labs in place. And as far as I know, I think there is no lab for BIS. BIS standards for the masks are in place, but then a BIS standard lab is not there, if I'm not mistaken.
Right.
So that is one thing which the government needs to look at. The labs for proper testing,
right,
R&D. So these things, the government, if they can help us in that, then it should be very, very good for the industry overall.
Right. I think it was a very good insight, Inderpalji, from your side as well, and from Pankaj. Yes, Pankaj ji.
ये जो अभी जो इंद्रपाल जी ने बात कही लैब्स की और टेस्टिंग की, इट इज एक्सट्रीमली इंपॉर्टेंट. अभी क्या होगा, सी चाइना हैज डन द सेम थिंग. यू मस्ट हैव हर्ड लॉट ऑफ टाइम्स द क्वालिटी ऑफ द किट्स, द क्वालिटी ऑफ द मटेरियल दे सप्लाइड वाज सबपार. So India should not get into that rot. So we need to immediately establish the standard, so that whenever we send out our product, we meet those specific standards, so that tomorrow, because of 1 or 2 suppliers, the whole industry is not named like they are poor quality suppliers. So that is also very important, that norm should be fixed immediately, so that whenever the export starts, we follow those norms.
Right. Absolutely. Thank you so much. I think Mr. Bala is disconnected, I guess. I cannot see him. Anyways, I would like to, the poll result have just come. I think it's a good sign for every one of us to start living a new normal life. I think 13% says September, October, you should not do it. 62% says yes for November, December exhibition, and 25% say they can't say it. So I think majority of participants has agreed that physical exhibition should start in normal situation, which is either November or December. So definitely we'll come back to you with more, thinking process and how we are going about it once the situation starts becoming normal. Now, since everybody is talking about exports, and this year we also plan to take all of you to Africa, because Africa exports is going to be a critical part for all of us. And we already plan Non-Woven Tech Africa exhibition in Kenya, but you know the situation how it is. So we are planning to go at least for overseas exhibition on a virtual way. So I think the next poll is on that line, that whether the industry is preferring virtual exhibition for export purpose or not. So I would request my team to have a second poll on this virtual exhibition platform. Heta, can you share the second poll, please? Friends, as you know, the world is right now suffering from a lot of uncertainty. So everybody is thinking whether to go or whether to not to go. So at least we can start the virtual way of doing exhibition, which is a new sign of exhibition industries in coming years. So let's see how all the participants is replying to our poll. I think Mr. Bala is come back to us. Mr. Bala, there was a lot of awareness which has been happened because of COVID as far as non-woven industry is concerned. So do you see the new people or the new industry or new entrepreneurs coming into this non-woven field? What is your say on that?
Yeah, good morning. Good morning to everyone. Actually, we were in Tirupur. Our industry is in Tirupur. We have been there for last 7-8 years. Almost none of the Tirupur industrialists were much aware about our industry. Nobody knows what is non-woven actually.
Yes.
Luckily, fortunately, because of this COVID, we were being known to everyone. Each and every industrialist in Tirupur were very keen about our industry. A lot of new entrepreneurs like garment manufacturers, everybody were asking me about how is the industry and how about to start an industry. So it's again a fortunate thing or unfortunate thing, I didn't know, because maybe if these people come into existence, again we will be in a tough situation. That's what I feel.
Right, Mr. Bala. Thank you so much for your information. I think any industry, if you want to grow, I think the more and more players are coming, it is always good for the industries to go, because as you said that even we started our journey, hardly few people were knowing about non-woven industries. Even the day-to-day use which we take non-woven as a product, none of them were aware that this is made from non-woven. So I think it's an
But
opportunity.
as well, the demand has also to develop, no?
Yes, exactly.
That is also a key factor, no? But the demand has been low, and if the supply starts to get increased, means definitely it is not a good sign for our industry.
No,
That's what I feel.
I'm talking about more converter and more awareness in the market, more traders coming, more dealer distributor network coming, so that awareness can be spread more and people know exactly that these are made from non-woven industries. That is what my perception of spreading awareness, more awareness after this particular COVID incident. And we have a glimmer of hope also that after this, I think people have started knowing this is non-woven. So that is the main thing for all of us basically.
But the thing is, the exposure of our industry or the fabrics has been limited to certain things as of now. Only now this COVID has given us a very extensive applications, so that the people will get to know about this. Maybe what are you telling? If the awareness increases, the converters will get increased and everything it will be a good sign for us only. Yes,
Right.
I absolutely accept your point.
Yeah, thank you so much. Let's move on to few questions which we already have.
Mm.
Just a second. The first question is from Manish Gupta. Non-woven is non-breathable. Is there any breathable non-woven fabric available?
All the non-woven fabrics.
All
are
the
breathable.
non-woven is breathable.
Breathable only.
Yes. So I think Mr. Gupta, there is an answer for you that non-woven fabric is a breathable. The another question is how important is the X-functional engagement and sharing of information of value between resin supplier, machinery and fabric in non-woven? Anyone can answer? Or can I repeat the question?
Supply of information is always good. There is no harm in doing that, unless you think that it is a kind of very confidential information or the information which will be very beneficial to you.
Yes. The other question is, I think we have discussed already how competitive Indian manufacturers are compete against China. So I think all are very competitive enough to supply worldwide material without any, obviously quality measure we'll have to take, but I think we are competent enough to supply worldwide. If I am wrong, you can tell, but I think I have more confidence on all of you that we can compete. Recently, HLL has stopped taking delivery of PPE kits, taking quality issue. What is the panelist view on this? I think Suresh bhai, you can give this answer because I think we are talking on one of the common platform about this.
क्या बात करें, क्या question?
HLL has stopped taking delivery of PPE kits because of the quality issue. So what is your view on this?
हाँ, HLL ने recently प्रोक्योरमेंट करने का, और उनके पीछे भी उनकी एक नई गाइडलाइन आई है, कल ही उसका डिक्लेरेशन आया है, मैंने शेयर भी किया था। तो उनका जो चेक पॉइंट्स उसमें वो लोग और स्ट्रिक्ट करने जा रहे हैं, क्योंकि मोर देन 500 कवरऑल मैन्युफैक्चरर्स ने अप्रूवल ले लिया है सित्रा DRDO से, और सभी टाइप्स के क्वालिटी वो लोग सप्लाई कर रहे हैं। होता क्या है कि भी फैब्रिक का एक बार सर्टिफिकेशन करवा लिया, उसके बाद पीपी किट कवरऑल बनाने वाले ने भी एक ही बार उन्होंने सर्टिफिकेशन करवा लिया, फिर सप्लाई में क्या वो दे रहे हैं, क्या सप्लाई कर रहे हैं, विच काइंड ऑफ द क्वालिटी दे आर सप्लाइंग टू HLL, वो आज तक HLL को भी पता नहीं था। मगर जब इंफीरियर क्वालिटी का कंप्लेंट्स मार्केट से आने लगा, उसके बाद MOT और HLL ने कुछ नया गाइडलाइन हेल्थ मिनिस्ट्री ने मिलकर किया हुआ है कि चेक पॉइंट्स जो है स्ट्रिक्टली उसको बढ़ाया जाएगा। हर ईच एंड एवरी 10,000 पीपी किट सप्लाई के बाद उसका रैंडमली 10 पीस ऑफ दिस पीपी किट कवरऑल का टेस्ट करेंगे। अगर उसमें कोई इंफीरियर क्वालिटी अप टू मार्क नहीं हुआ, मतलब जो क्वालिटी मार्क्स जो है अगर अप्रूवल नहीं है, तो उसको पूरा लॉट रिजेक्ट करेंगे उनको, और मैन्युफैक्चरर को उनको उनके पास रिप्लेसमेंट करना पड़ेगा। अगर मैन्युफैक्चरर रिप्लेसमेंट नहीं करता है तो HLL उनको ब्लैकलिस्ट करेगा 1 ईयर के लिए। दूसरा पॉइंट ऐसा है कि बिफोर सप्लाई, जिसका सप्लाई हो चुका है HLL के वेयरहाउस में है, उनके ऊपर भी ये नियम लागू होगा, और जिसका ऑर्डर पेंडिंग है और सप्लाई बाकी है, तो उन्होंने थर्ड पार्टी इंस्पेक्शन को अपॉइंट किया है, रिक्रूट किया है, और आपको इंफॉर्मेशन देना पड़ेगा HLL को कि भाई हमारा एक लॉट रेडी हो गया है। उसके पहले, सप्लाई से पहले वो आपके कंपनी पे आएंगे और उसको उसमें से 10 पीस सैंपल रैंडमली लेके उसको टेस्ट करेंगे। अगर वो अप्रूवल लेते हैं तभी आप उसको सप्लाई कर पाएंगे HLL को। तो क्वालिटी मार्क्स के लिए, मतलब जो क्वालिटी इंफीरियर क्वालिटी का सप्लाई काफी कुछ हुआ है, ये मेन रीजन है कि गवर्नमेंट एक्सपोर्ट ओपन नहीं कर रही है। तो इसके लिए थोड़ा हम लोगों को भी ध्यान देना पड़ेगा, मैन्युफैक्चरर्स को भी, और पीपी किट कवरऑल मैन्युफैक्चरर्स को भी ध्यान देना पड़ेगा। सब मिलजुल के करने वाली बात है, क्वालिटी सप्लाई गवर्नमेंट को और एक्सपोर्ट मार्केट में।
Right. Thank you, Suresh bhai. I think we have a lot of more other questions also, but I think we are running out of the time. I would like to come back with all the answers once our panelists start giving the answers, and you can mail us or you can contact our team and we'll get back to you. I think the second poll result was also in favor of 62% people said yes for virtual exhibition for exports. So they want to be more safe. by using the current digital platform and want to participate in a virtual exhibition, especially for overseas. So I think we'll come back to you with the more information on our planning on virtual exhibition as well. I think my last conclusion questions to all of you. Right now the mask has working as a life-saving product in the entire world, non-woven mask. And right now, our economy, not only our economy, but the worldwide economy is also wearing a mask. So do you feel that non-woven industries will play a key role of unmasking the mask economy? We start with you, Anshumali ji. If you heard my question well, do you feel non-woven industries will act as unmasking the mask economy?
Sanyalji, I think
sorry, because starting from our Prime Minister to Health Minister, everybody is talking about Atmanirbhar, and whenever they are talking about Atmanirbhar, the first example they are giving is of PPE kit and mask. So that's why the question directly coming to you.
So with that respect, I think India is more than Atmanirbhar as far as these two particular products are concerned. I think the capacity to produce masks and PPE kits is huge as of today in India. In fact, the consumption is simply not there. I think particularly in these products, several manufacturers, good quality manufacturers who have proper certifications, product testing standards, are ready to take upon the world.
Right. Thank you so much, Anshumali. Apurva, your say on this. Can you unmute yourself, Apurva?
Please.
Yes. What do you feel non-woven industry is playing a role of unmasking the mask economy?
Mask, basically, right now in India, the price of the mask has been shedded a lot. So, considering the price of the mask, we can see that there is a huge production capacity of mask in India as of now, because so many machines have been developed in India also, which can manufacture this N95 surgical mask and all. And there's a very huge potential, as everybody is telling that the fabric manufacturing is ideal right now. I mean, it is the capacity of fabric is more, and the requirement of fabric is less as of now in India. The same situation and the same similar situation will happen for the mask also, because right now there are so many machines which have been imported and also been manufactured in India, especially for the N95 mask. And within a few days, maybe within a month or so, there will be a surplus capacity of mask manufacturing in India. So I guess we can compete, especially with the China, for the N95 mask also in the near future.
Yes, thank you so much, Apurva. Rambilal ji, your say on this. What do you feel non-woven industries will play a major role in terms of economy?
Yeah, of course. Seeing the economy, rough calculation I was keeping in the web map. It is about $25 lakh per day India can earn through if the exports are open, either through fabrics or N95 mask and so on. Right now, the culture right now in the abroad areas is to live with the mask, and hospitals to be equipped with the PPE kits. So it is a new normal. It is an entire eye opener for our entire industry. So a lot of converters have already popped up in India. It is we can guide them in setting up all getting proper certifications, because to export the international standards, all the standards to be kept in place, and quality manufacturing should be ensured. It should not happen like what happened in China. A lot of reject goods were coming from Europe. So it's government has to keep vigilant eye on the quality which is being exported, so that our whole industry is benefited out of it. And we can earn a lot of foreign exchange with the exports of all the products, fabrics, PP kits, mask, N95, all the masks.
Thank you, Rambilal. Tarunji, what is your say? Can you unmute yourself, Tarunji, please?
Sorry. Yeah, first of all, Sanyalji, I would like to add on a point which was probably missed or not elaborated by my peers. See, when we talk about restriction on export of 5603, government need to understand that this particular HSN comprises of various kind of non-woven. We are talking of just PP spunbond non-woven in surplus in India. If we talk about other forms of non-woven, be it SMS or Melblon or spunless, they are scarce. They are scarce in India at this particular point of time. We are talking of just PP spunbond non-woven to open up exports for this. And like one of my peers said, it was earlier the problem was in conversion of final products, be it PP kits or be it masks. At present, the conversion capacity has increased drastically via importing of all kind of machineries from China, and at present we are in a surplus of final product as well. So now coming back to your question, Sanyalji, hello?
Yes, Tarun, we can hear you.
Yeah. Now coming back to your question, if we talk about like India ready for exports, I mean, I think it's more than ready. If we talk about the prices of non-woven fabric, Melblon fabric, 3-ply mask and N95 mask, India is at the lowest in the world. I mean, there is nothing cheaper than what's available in India at this point of time. If we talk about our competitor China, the prices are way more higher than what's in India. And talking on the quality.
Can everybody mute themselves, please? I think Pravinji, can you mute yourself?
Praveena.
Pravinji, can you mute yourself? Yeah, Tarunji, go ahead.
Yes, so I don't find any challenge, and in terms of quality, India is capable enough. India was not importing any of the non-wovens or any of the products that have been domestically produced. So I think the quality is at par with what we see as a competition in China. So I see a bright future, and I see, you know, the opportunity today is only the time. The later exports open up, well, the more the opportunity, I mean, lesser the opportunity that we have.
Right, Tarunji. Thank you so much. Pankajji, what is your say on this? Economy boosting from non-woven industry.
Sir, I think it is high time that the export is open immediately. Reason being is, this is a time when there is a desperation internationally. They are coming to you, and this gives you, because they are desperate, they are willing to interact with you, they are willing to deal with you. And that gives us an opportunity to work with them. And unless they have seen our product, they have seen a couple of containers going to them, that establishes a faith. Yes, this person can supply me the quality, this person can supply me on time. So this kind of thing, if we fail to do this immediately, what will happen is, I have already have few interactions where my customers have already gone back to China. Now, I don't think they are going to come back to me again.
Absolutely.
They are not going to come back. Reason because they think, okay, China chal raha hai na chal raha hai. So now government is talking of becoming Atmanirbhar. Government is talking about countering China in many ways, especially if you look at the situation, what is happening at our borders. It is very high time we fight with our wallets also.
Right.
और उसके लिए भी चाइना को काउंटर करने के लिए गवर्नमेंट को ओपन करना बहुत जरूरी है. एक सबसे बड़ा डर गवर्नमेंट के दिमाग में बैठा कि हमारे यहाँ शॉर्टेज हो गया तो क्या होगा. शॉर्टेज नहीं है भाई, सरप्लस है. आप बात तो करो इंडस्ट्री वालों से. 80-90% प्लांट खाली पड़े हैं. There is no shortage.
Right. Absolutely. I think we will work towards it, I guess. Let's hope that we all can work towards it and convince government to, you know, release ban on fabric for exports, basically. Rakesh ji, what is your Apurva? Yes, you want to say something?
Sanyal ji, a few days back, we had, me and Suresh bhai, we had a webinar in which Mr. Niranjan Das, the Joint Secretary to Minister,
I was a part of it.
Miss Smriti Irani, उसमें निरंजन दास जी ने खुद बोला था कि बांग्लादेश ने जो है पीपी किट वगैरह जो एक्सपोर्ट किया है.
Right.
See, such a small country, जहाँ पे fabric manufacturer are very few, and that country can take an immediate decision, and they are exporting such type of product, which is very much essential for the whole world. So
Right.
Abhi, right now is the time for our country to open the exports for the fabric, for the PPE kit, everything, whatever the product is required for to fight against this pandemic. ये ऐसा है अभी आम जो है वो पक गया है, अभी इसको पका हुआ आम को भी और ज्यादा टाइम रखेंगे तो फिर ये सड़ जाएगा ये.
Obviously.
We are in the mango season, so I think it's the right word from your side. Rakesh ji, what is your say?
Yes, Mr. Sanyal ji, I would like to say that government, regarding the mask, government is already promoting cotton and synthetic masks. So one thing I don't understand why they are afraid of this surgical mask actually, because see, we need in mask, we need a hydrophobic, not hydrophilic. So on one side they are promoting cotton and synthetic mask and they are allowing exports of that. And on the other side, they are not allowing exports of this non-woven mask. So I am seeing double standard in this of government. And regarding the mask, actually, we need a more proper certifications and testings for the mask. Because if export is started and we are going to export poor mask in another countries, we are going the same problem and same allegations which China was facing. By sending improper PPE kit and mask. So that should be considered. And obviously the export should be open as soon as possible. Otherwise, the potential buyer will convert it to China again. And we will lose a big opportunity to make in India prove better, in better way.
Yes,
So export should be open as soon as possible, without any delay.
Yes. Indapal ji, what is your say?
Just this much that with proper handholding between the government and the industry stakeholders, we can move forward. Timely decisions have to be made by the government.
Right.
And last but not the least, on every social platform, wherever I've got a little opportunity to speak, I've always been very vocal about standards.
Yes.
So that is one thing which, the government and the industry stakeholders need to come where if you have to make exports to the US, European, they have the CE standards, they have the FDA standards. You have to register, and it's a very, very it's a government for the income as government's income is also there. Because if you register to an FDA, if you want to export to US medical devices, anything, you have to pay them the annual fees,
right?
And which is not a small amount.
Absolutely.
It's a couple of $1,000s.
Absolutely, yes.
And that is just for the class 1. If you go to the class 2, it is like in like $50,000, $40,000 per annum.
Absolutely.
So, if the government can lay standard, this is what you can bring to India, this is what you can, supply in India, this is what you can, manufacture in India. If these things can happen, then, even a lot of revenue can be generated through this as well.
Yeah. Thank you, Indapal ji, so much.
Everybody,
Yes.
that in today's date, you see, any and everybody is manufacturing masks. Okay, it is good that was the need of the hour. Even though to some extent, even might be, the quality might have been compromised. But I think now that stage we have crossed. Now the government needs to come up with immediate standards, BIS standards for whether it be for PPE kits, for the mask it is there, and for non-woven fabrics, non-woven bags. I think the BIS standards needs to be drawn immediately, so that then that quality which we are looking for will always be there. So it has to be standards. So if we can draw that, I think we'll be in a much better place.
Right, Indapal ji. Thank you so much. Ramesh ji, what is your say?
Sanil ji, well said. I mean, the standards are very important. In case we are going for the exports, in case my shipment is lying on the port, then there is no use. We need to meet the standards, then only we will be able to export our products.
Yes. Thank you.
Because
Yes.
rejection of exports brings the bad name to the country also.
Absolutely right. So standard, we have to maintain the standard and make quality as per the international parameters. I think I agree with all of you. Mr. Bala, what is your say? Can you unmute yourself, Mr. Bala?
Yeah.
Yes.
What he told is right. Once the export is open, we should be able to give a befitting material. It should be the quality, the certification, everything should be perfect. Only then we will be competitive. Because as of now, there is a sentiment for the Western countries, no buying of Chinese materials. This is a great opportunity for us. So this is the high time. We have to work it out, and we have to plead the government to get the prohibition, the ban, export prohibition to be lifted up. See, for an example, if we are importing a machine from China, because of this existing ban, we are not even able to purchase the material by EPCG. So all our investments are going for the duties and other things. So
Right.
it is a hard time. We need to plead the government.
Right. Thank you, Mr. Bala. Suresh bhai, your say on this overall about future exports and the economy. If you can just conclude it.
रिगार्डिंग स्टैंडर्ड्स के बारे में एक बात कहना चाहूंगा मैं. Recently, BIS standard already under working for this mask and PPE kits, and they have contacted to me to provide some of the technical data for this mask fabrics and everything. Many data I have provided them, and it is under consideration, under working. It will take some time. I think there is some time limit to declare, but they told me within the 3 months they will declare this BIS standard for mask and PPE kit also. So ये वर्किंग में है सित्रा के साथ में, और मेरे कंसर्न में रहते हैं हमेशा सित्रा से और BIS मेंबर्स जो उनके जो मिस्टर गुप्ता जी है, तो काफी सारे डेटा उनको प्रोवाइड किया हुआ है. उन्होंने मेरे को भी नोट भेजा था क्या क्या उसके अंदर आप मॉडिफिकेशन करना चाहते हो या क्या स्टैंडर्ड होना चाहिए. तो वर्किंग में है, आ जाएगा शायद 3 महीने के अंदर मास्क और पीपी किट के लिए. और सर्जिकल ड्रेप्स और दूसरे जो मेडिकल प्रोडक्ट्स है उसका भी उन्होंने काफी साल 6 महीने पहले से उन्होंने डाला है, मगर उनके लिए थोड़ा टाइम लगता है डिक्लेयर करने में. तो आ जाएगा, सारे स्टैंडर्ड्स आ जाएंगे. मगर एक पीपी किट और मास्क के लिए उन्होंने 3 महीने के अंदर देने को बोला है. हमने भी रिक्वेस्ट किया स्टैंडर्ड से हम लोग मार्केट में क्या होना चाहिए, फैब्रिक का स्टैंडर्ड और पर्टिकुलर प्रोडक्ट का स्टैंडर्ड, तो दोनों का डिक्लेरेशन शायद शॉर्ट टाइम में हो जाएगा.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much all the panelists for your wonderful insight on the current situation and what's going to be the future products. The future Indian non-military is going to play a major role. Let's pray and request government to lift the ban on exports so we all can serve to the world in terms of the quality product from India. Friends, I would also like to request, we also have couple of machinery players who have started making indigenous machine. So anyone is in the participant list from Raju, from Pelican, from RR Plus, they can always contact us, and we would like to use this platform for more awareness on what kind of indigenous machinery you are making for the non-woven industries. And Apurva, I think you also can know someone there who can come on this platform on different webinar which has been managed by us, and they can speak about their machinery and other innovations for non-woven industries. I think we would like to be with them, us, for the industry. So if they are listening to this webinar, or if any of the panelists knows them, I think we should serve this technology also to the non-woven industries. So thank you so much again for this wonderful insight, and hope to see you soon. And we'll come back with one more session in maybe couple of weeks or maybe next week, and we'll inform you. So thank you so much, and namaste to all. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sanalji. Thank you for this.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sanalji.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ji.
Yeah,
Thank you, Sanalji. Bye.
thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you, Sanalji.
Yes, bye-bye.
Thank you, Sanal. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, everybody.
Bye.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Sanjay.
Bye.